quite a lot of people, even people in the industry, when you think of fashion, you perhaps think of, traditional menswear, women's wear, fashion weeks, high streets and retail, but we actually represent the whole portion of the fashion industry. So it includes PPE, lingerie, athleisure, sportswear, outerwear. Every membership is unique that, although we offer a set range of benefits, what members want from us is very much on a case-by-case basis, and we're here as a membership team to deliver that for them and to make sure that they are signposted to the right resources that are most appropriate for them. My job is to go out and see these members, hear from them on what the challenges are, and ensure that our work at the UKFT is supporting them.
Welcome to Grow Your UK Fashion and Textile Business with UKFT. In this episode, we're speaking directly to fashion brands across the UK. Whether you're a designer-led label, small D2C brand, or growing fashion business with a wholesale strategy, this is the episode for you. You'll hear how UKFT supports fashion brands from strategy to export, and how membership can help you build resilience, navigate change, and unlock growth opportunities. Joining me is Becky Mars, Head of Fashion Membership. Becky spends most weeks travelling between factories, studios and head offices and attending events. Hi Becky, tell us a bit about your role and the kinds of conversations you have with UK fashion businesses every week.
So my role at UKFT is Head of Fashion Membership, so I look after our fashion and retail members, which, as you say, is quite a varied role, as we have a wide range of members in terms of size. So it's everything from, brands that are turning over around £100,000 to huge multi-retail, multi-brand international retailers that we also represent. So my job is to go out and see these members, hear from them on what the challenges are, and ensure that our work at the UKFT is supporting them, and also to gain some feedback for what the issues that they're having are, so we can react to that as a team.
So let's talk about the essentials. What kind of support does UKFT offer specifically for fashion businesses?
So we offer tailored business advice, so that can be across design, production, logistics, marketing, sales. We really say to members that every membership is unique, that, although we offer a set range of benefits, what members want from us is very much on a case-by-case basis, and we're here as a membership team to deliver that for them and to make sure that they are signposted to the right resources that are most appropriate for them. Our international team particularly can help with range planning, pricing, helping members look at their wholesale strategy, whether that be, refreshing it because it's already in place, or looking at members who are just at the beginning of their wholesale journey and starting to think, what could this look like for me? What might I need to, think about? Because quite often it could be a whole range of things that they haven't even begun to imagine might be a challenge for them. We have also a range of sustainability guidance through the team, and also some care labelling and fibre claim support. So it's quite a wide range of support. And as a membership team, our day-to-day job is to make sure that members can access the support they need and know that actually we are here to support them, because I think quite often it can be, if you are having a stressful point within your business, it can be a little bit overwhelming in trying to find that right guidance. But we're here to supply the up-to-the-minute compliance advice and make sure that our members are as up-to-date as they can be.
And we're also talking about fashion in its broadest sense, aren't we?
Definitely. So I think for quite a lot of people, even people in the industry, when you think of fashion, you perhaps think of, traditional menswear, women's wear, fashion weeks, high streets and retail, but we actually represent the whole portion of the fashion industry. So it includes PPE, lingerie, athleisure, sportswear, outerwear. It is very interesting that sometimes people don't see themselves as a fashion brand, but we do encompass the whole range of the industry.
Thank you. And talking about that practical support, do you want to tell me a bit about what membership looks like for these kinds of businesses?
Yeah, so I think the idea of the membership for them is for them to have access to resources day to day that they can look at and be prompted by us via our newsletters and via the website and the team as well, being in touch with them to know that there are resources they can come and access, or webinars you can come and listen to, there are guides that you can request to see, but also that we're here to ask for feedback on how brands are finding their year, finding this trading period that they're in. So it's quite a balance of members need to engage with us to make sure they get everything that they need out from it, because we don't necessarily know exactly what the challenge is unless they can tell us.
And we find that brands, again, businesses that engage, it's a bit like having a gym membership, isn't it?
It is a little bit like having a gym membership, which, ultimately, the more that you are engaged with us as a network and us as a team, the more that you will eventually get from us and see the rewards from engaging.
And tell me a bit about the partners that we work with.
So we work with a range of partners, which you'll hear them called as associate partners within our membership, which I also help to manage in my job. So we work with everything from intellectual property specialists, contract lawyers, trend forecasters, and they're here to offer some insight to the members, whether that be through in-person events, webinars, us providing connections to members. Quite often we might have a member who comes to us, for example, with a question around greenhouse gas accounting. We can then connect that member to one of our associate partners who can give them some advice. I think we are a national trade association with a royal president, so we're very thoughtful about who we work with and making sure that they are trusted, that we are happy to connect our members to them. We also offer discounted foreign exchange services, logistics, help with A2A carnets. It's very varied. And I think the thing we say to members is, please, we'll keep saying this throughout this episode, please keep in contact with us and let us know what your needs are, because quite often we will have someone in our network who can help you, whether that be an associate partner or maybe a fellow member or someone else in the wider network.
That's the thing, isn't it? You're plugging into a network in its broadest sense. And I guess you, in your role, you're hearing a lot about again, people's challenges, but also people's opportunities and what's going well. There's a whole area around best practice and opportunities and things like that I guess you can expand on in your hearing.
Yeah, and I think it's really interesting that, week to week, every meeting I go to, there's definitely something that I come away with and think, oh, that was really a useful piece of information that, quite often I will then be in a meeting the following week or, a couple of weeks later and be able to share that information with another member or offer to connect them if both members are happy.
I was going to say, there's obviously a confidentiality
obviously
aspect to that.
Obviously, but where appropriate, we can look to do that.
And what we're finding as well is that generally businesses are facing similar things. If someone's having a problem exporting to Spain or someone's having a problem with...
Exactly. Quite often, we're hearing examples of these things happening and are able to react to that and hopefully provide guidance to the wider membership before they too come in contact with that issue.
We talked just then about raising the profile of our members and the industry at large. You mentioned our president. Do you want to tell us a bit more about?
Yes, so we have a very passionate president, which is Her Royal Highness, the Princess Royal. She shines a great light on our industry, and we're very fortunate that she regularly visits our manufacturing members, which is an incredible moment for those members who are visited, and it's great for us to be able to shine a spotlight on what they're doing and also to celebrate that with our wider network through our profile that we have, as well as the opportunity, we only have one president. Not everyone can have a royal visit. We do have many other opportunities for members to raise their profile and to share what they're up to with us. Many of our members engage with us to have a member spotlight on the website and our social channels. This is an opportunity to share any kind of news they might have. So it could be that they've opened a new factory. It might be that they've got a new collection. They might be looking to share with the network that they've launched a new collaboration. It's all about giving our members the opportunity and platform to do that. As well as the spotlight and our president, we also have a UKFT member logo, which for many of our members is a real point of pride in being able to display that on the website or in their email signature to show that they are affiliated with us as a trade association.
And it's about, again, being part of that network. It's sharing, it's raising the profile. It's all about sort of becoming well known for what you're good at within the network, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think we really look to, as well as as well as members coming into us and telling us their successes, we really look to get in touch with members when we see something in the press or we see a press release to ask, can we shout about this? Because we're here to be a cheerleader of the industry and to really support our members.
Do you want to tell me a bit about how we support brands to grow outside the UK and what that looks like?
So we have an incredible international team which are very well connected. They spend much of the year attending a wide range of trade shows across the world. They provide tailored export strategy, which includes everything from a brand who's looking to go into a new single market, or they may be looking for a complete global rollout of their products, whether that be direct to consumer or wholesale. They also are very helpful in being able to decode changing trade regulations and custom rules, because part of the challenges members have is making that sale internationally, and the second part of that is being able to sell those goods internationally when the sale has happened. So the team are trying to keep their finger on the pulse to share as many updates as they can with members so they can be aware of any changes that may be happening. We had a recent example of some challenges with the Korean market, with some changes to labelling around the terminology needing to say made in the UK. So we had a couple of members who came to us with that as an issue, and our international and compliance team jumped straight on that in having conversations with various people in our network to get an answer on what the update needed to be. And it was a great result, as it meant the members who were having issues did get the stock to the buyer, and that went through. So the team can also provide guidance on trade shows, so that can be Paris, Milan, Chicago. We have a Discover British Brands campaign, and I think quite often, I've been in many conversations with members who are hoping to start thinking about a trade show. They may have one view on it, but they're really looking to get a wider perspective on, what does the industry think about it? What has other brands had an experience with it? What's the feedback been? And the international team's incredible at being able to give a really measured and an honest view to those members and to help guide them to come to their own decision, but for it to feel very informed. There are, as we've mentioned, quite a lot of practicalities as well with export and international growth. So we've already mentioned that we do have access to 8A carnet discounts.
And 8A carnets they're known as a passport for goods, aren't they? So that's about taking samples or to events and bringing it back. So again, a discount on that is
incredible.
Welcome.
Yeah. Also help with labelling, looking at payment terms, and also looking at, when you are looking beyond a UK market, what does this mean for your IP and how can you protect this, and other legal complexities that you need to begin to think about.
So onto legislation. It's changing all the time and moving fast. How does UKFT keep brands ahead?
So we have a Compliance 101 series which covers all forms of regulatory compliance, and also as well as covering any upcoming guidance, the team are very good at recapping for members on what they do need to be up to date with, because I think, as we've said, at the moment there is so much change and it's quite difficult for everyone to keep on top of what is the state of play.
So the Compliance 101, that's a series of webinars,
guides, resources, copies of slide decks that the team can look through following our webinars, and something to refer back to as and when is needed, especially if you say, you've had a new member of the team join, or perhaps there's a junior that you would like in your team to skill up about a certain element of regulation, you can use that for that purpose.
And companies can also come and just ask
Yeah,
questions.
so we offer support on care labelling, fibre claims, eco-design, packaging requirements. That's across sustainability and compliance. As we have the Compliance 101, we similarly have a Sustainability 101, which is in a similar format and covers guides, webinars, slides to look back on. But as we've mentioned, we always encourage members to come to us with their questions. And if we have an existing guide or webinar recording that they can access, we say, please have a look at this, and then we can answer any, slightly different bespoke questions on a one-to-one basis.
And the Sustainability 101 series, that covers everything from standards and certifications through to green claims, energy, carbon, that kind of thing.
Yep. Packaging requirements as well, which we've mentioned. I know the team are quite often asked questions around packaging. And I think, when you hear fashion, you don't necessarily think of beyond the garment sometimes, but we do cover all elements of that.
UKFT is also, we position ourselves as the voice of the industry. So we're bringing together the sector and speaking on its behalf, representing to government. Do you want to tell me a bit about how that works?
So we look to represent our members as one coherent voice to government. We cover key policy areas, which includes EPR, skills funding, trade deals. We are very much, in conversation with our members day to day to find out from them how new policy may impact them and to feed that back. So we really try and make sure that we're getting real world data from members to shape that policy.
And so that's sort of interesting for lots of different businesses, isn't it? So smaller brands.
Yeah, I think, sometimes you might think, it would only be a very large brand that might be of interest to, but the policy work we cover does impact all level and scale of brands, because it might be something around, a small business law that may impact our smaller members through to, as we say, much bigger ones.
And so bigger ones, it's about, again, maybe we can raise something on their behalf that they might not be able to.
Yeah, for some of our bigger members who, perhaps are listed or have to be quite careful what they say in the press, we can voice their thoughts and their needs about what would make it better for them to trade in the UK.
And for smaller brands, it's about having that seat at the table, having that voice in
where you perhaps wouldn't get the access. Exactly.
Brilliant. Connecting our members and fostering networking opportunities is a big part of what we do as well. Do you want to tell me about how that works in real?
So, yeah, we ultimately, as a member organisation, we are here as a network of members. And I think the important thing to say is, whilst my role is across fashion and retail members, we really look to connect our members across the categories. And we do that through building our community. We have a member reception in London, and also look to create smaller networking events and opportunities to bring members together that we think have shared interest and can also learn from each other, and perhaps share real success stories, but also share when things perhaps have been quite challenging and help each other along the way, because together ultimately the industry is stronger. As well as the more general networking and the member reception, we host specialist roundtables and events that are around focused topics. So that could be about new sustainability legislation. It could be around Ginatex labelling guidance and how that needs to be used within a business. So it's quite varied. We also have a larger sustainability conference every year annually, and we also look at how, as we've mentioned, the membership is very varied. So we look at how we can bring together our smaller brands as well.
You mentioned Ginatex labelling. Do you want to tell me a bit about the support we offer?
So
and what Ginatex is, I suppose.
Yeah, so Ginatex is the care symbols that you see within your clothing. If you've not heard of it before, you've probably seen them quite a lot and just never realised they had an official name. So anyone who is a UKFT Plus member receives a Ginatex licence via UKFT. Our compliance team supports those members to ensure that their labelling is compliant worldwide, because the requirements can very much change from country to country. So the team can work with our members to do labelling reviews, ensure that the Genetec symbols are being used correctly depending which territory it's used in. Have a very helpful worldwide map in how that works. But we are the only place you can get that from in the UK. So it's quite an important benefit, because you don't want your labelling to be wrong.
And there's a translation library as well of common translations. So again, rather than having all of that translated, if you wanted to ask around.
Yeah, so our the compliance team can help you with those translations. If we don't have the translation in our library, we do have a member rate of translations which we can arrange for members for whatever that bespoke phrasing needs to be for the territories they require.
We're also sector skills body for the fashion and textile industry across the UK, and we've got a skills and training team. Do you want to tell me a bit about what that looks like and how that can help fashion businesses?
Yeah, so the skills and training team are, again, a great resource for our members to engage with. Quite often for the fashion members, it might be around, if they are a UK manufacturer, it might be around training for the team in the factory. It could be, if you are more brand-based, looking at skilling up your team, ensuring that they are up to date with everything they need to be. Something that has been of a growing interest for our members has been around apprenticeships, and looking at how they navigate those if they would like to provide their own apprenticeships, or look at how they can bring in new members of the team with new skills. So that is something that quite often the skills and training team are called upon from me and the membership team to work with our members on.
And we've also got a really good education partner network as well, haven't we? And that encompasses further education, higher education, and training providers, private training providers. So again, that can be really interesting for fashion brands, looking at getting new talent, particularly so people coming off courses or wanting to upskill teams in terms of what they've already got. But also you can do things like, if you wanted to run a particular project,
like a live
example,
brief.
yeah.
And I think also for some of our fashion members, there's a real appetite to give back and to be able to engage with mentoring opportunities or judging of competition. So it's quite a nice way to connect established people in the industry with our students currently.
And we do a whole series of activities around getting new people into the industry, around careers and job fairs, and also UKFT Futures, our platform.
Yeah, it's another way that we offer a promotion opportunity to members. So we do call outs to make sure that we can share their job advertisements, share new openings, especially when we are knowing that we're going out to careers fairs, which are very regional. We can share new opportunities with the people we're going to come into contact with.
And that's all about getting new people into the industry.
Yeah, exactly. And showcasing that it is an industry that you can have a career in.
I think one of the things that we often say, and again, when we're explaining what membership looks like for different businesses, because we're hearing a lot of sort of real examples, it's often answering the questions that someone hasn't asked, or it's about saving those sort of costly mistakes that can trip people up. So it's that shared experience and kind of, again, if you're doing something for the first time or you're doing something in a new market, it's like, oh, you might need to think about that before you do it, and you find out those. So that's the benefit, isn't it?
Exactly. I think here to just have an open conversation with members, and the team's very good at, as you say, asking questions that perhaps they hadn't even thought about might be a challenge for them, or something that they didn't know was a piece of regulation they will need to comply to for a new market. So I think we are here to answer questions, but also to ask questions to members and to help them to think about what they need to be prepared for.
Thanks, Becky. Thanks for joining us. Whether you're already a well-established business or just starting out or scaling your brand, UKFT offers expert advice, industry connections, and practical resources to help you grow. To access member benefits or to speak to our team, visit ukft.org. And don't forget to subscribe to Grow Your UK Fashion and Textile Business with UKFT on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts.